Iran's Revolutionary Guard Chief Hossein Salami has vowed to respond to threats from the United States. Salami said that Iran is not looking for a war, but is also not afraid of it. This comes after the White House blamed Iran-backed militias for the killing of 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan this month. Washington added that it is weighing options to respond to the attack. Yemen's Houthi rebel group said that their naval forces carried out an operation targeting a U.S. merchant vessel. They targeted an American merchant ship named Koi, which is a Liberian-flagged container ship. The Houthis added that they will not hesitate to retaliate against any escalation from Britain or America. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and top Israeli official Ron Dermer held a strategic meeting in Washington yesterday. The meeting focused on the delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza and advancing negotiations for the release of hostages taken by Hamas. The U.S. has been working with Israel and Qatar to reach a hostage deal with Hamas. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin welcomed his British counterpart Grant Shapps to the Pentagon yesterday. The bilateral meeting came amid escalating tensions in West Asia. Austin underlined the importance of the UK's partnership to address the Houthi attacks against shipping in the Red Sea. Both countries also agreed that Israel should avoid harming Palestinian civilians in its war against Hamas. They also stressed on the need for humanitarian assistance in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called for the shutdown of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees. His comments come as UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres convened a meeting with member states to discuss funding for the UNRWA. Guterres said that the UNRWA was the backbone of all humanitarian responses in Gaza. Earlier this month, some countries suspended their funding to the agency after allegations leveled by Israel. Israel said that some UNRWA staff members were involved in the October 7th Hamas attack. The Israeli army released a video showing their ground operations in Gaza. The video also purportedly showed airstrikes on Hamas targets. The army said that at least 25 Palestinian militants and 3 Israeli soldiers were killed during the operation. An object believed to be an explosive device was found outside the Israeli embassy in Sweden's capital, Stockholm. The country's national bomb squad has detonated the device. Police said that they have launched an investigation into the incident. They have declined to give any details on the nature of the object or how it got there. However, reports say that the object was a hand grenade. In India, the government passed an interim budget in Parliament this morning. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced a host of welfare measures. They were targeted at uplifting the poor, women, youth and farmers. However, no changes were made to tax slabs, which is one of the key announcements sought by investors and citizens. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol warned that North Korea may try to disrupt the country's upcoming parliamentary elections. Yoon has warned against drone intrusions, cyber attacks, or the spread of fake news to interfere in the April polls. In recent weeks, Pyongyang has ramped up tensions on the Korean peninsula. It has conducted several missile tests and issued verbal threats against Seoul. A Hong Kong court has convicted 4 people for rioting. This is over the storming of the city's Legislative Council building during pro-democracy protests in 2019. Hundreds of protesters had swarmed Hong Kong's legislature, defacing pictures and smashing furniture. It was one of the most chaotic episodes of the massive 2019 Hong Kong protests. Ukraine officials have said that a Russian bomb hit a hospital in Kharkiv yesterday. 4 people were injured and 38 were evacuated after the attack. Footage released by Ukrainian officials showed shattered hospital windows with debris littering the street. Demonstrators and riot police clashed around Argentina's congressional complex in Buenos Aires yesterday. The protests came as lawmakers debated an economic reform bill known as the Omnibus Bill. President Javier Milei is racing to secure votes on the bill. It proposes measures ranging from new economic policies to the privatization of state entities. It is one of Milei's main reforms to tackle the South American country's worst economic crisis in decades. Thousands of residents have fled their homes in a neighborhood in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. This was amid a heavy gun battle between rival gangs. The territorial fight between the gangs escalated this week. Haiti is facing a worsening conflict between alliances of heavily armed gangs, giving rise to sexual violence, lootings, and indiscriminate killings. In climate news, White House senior advisor John Podesta will replace John Kerry as the special U.S. climate envoy. He has been appointed as a senior advisor to the President for international climate policy. Podesta will oversee the implementation of Joe Biden's climate laws in the U.S. John Kerry announced in January that he will be stepping down from his current position to help in Biden's re-election campaign. Colombia is experiencing a severe drought. The weather situation is threatening its water resources, agriculture, livestock, and people. The water level in a reservoir that supplies water to southern Bogota city is just at 35% capacity. In northern Colombia, the fishing community is in the middle of a crisis as rivers have been drying up. President Gustavo Petro has declared it a natural disaster to allocate resources to deal with the situation. Officials in northeastern Spain might declare a drought emergency. A persisting drought has brought the water levels of reservoirs that serve 6 million people to a historic low of under 16%. Thousands of people living in small towns are facing the brunt of the drought, with incremental water restrictions for months. Many have been without a supply of drinking water since December. Iraq has started the plantation of 7,000 mangrove trees in the Basra province to reduce soil erosion. The project is Iraq's way to battle global warming. According to reports, mangrove trees can produce twice as much oxygen as regular trees. They will also save the region from erosion. A raging wildfire in South Africa's Western Cape Town is still not under control. The region's environment minister reports that firefighters are working around the clock to contain the situation. Helicopters have been deployed to scoop water from the nearby ocean and dump it on the fire. The fire began on the 29th of January, fueled by hot and dry weather. In China's Shanghai city, dense fog is hampering the transportation system. Several ferry routes were disrupted temporarily. The foggy conditions reduced the visibility to less than 200 meters. Chinese weather forecasters have issued snow and freezing rain warnings for the next few days. In the northern part of India is receiving much needed snow and rain. The hilly states are experiencing substantial snowfall, while the plains are drenched in unexpected rain. The Indian Weather Department has issued an orange alert for both snow and rain for northern India. The orange alert is a warning for extremely bad weather. In business and tech news, the U.S. Federal Reserve left the key interest rates unchanged yesterday. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that the interest rate cuts are likely at some point this year. To the disappointment of investors, Powell added that he does not expect lower rates in the March monetary policy. In a rare bipartisan vote, the U.S. House of Representatives approved a $78 billion package yesterday. The bill offers tax cuts for businesses and raises the child tax credit for low-income families. The bill was passed on a strong bipartisan vote of 357 to 70. This comes even as Republicans and Democrats have been in a deadlock over other funding issues, including aid for Ukraine and Israel. According to state media reports, China has started rolling out a new program to support stalled real estate projects. Under the so-called whitelist mechanism, a state-backed property project has received a loan. This comes amid mounting concerns about real estate giant Evergrande and China's property sector. In addition to the loan incentives, these Chinese cities are also easing home buying curbs to help push demand. COVID-19 vaccine maker Novavax will reduce about 12% of its total workforce. This is the second round of layoffs at the biotech firm since last year. About 30% of Novavax's employees have been impacted by both rounds of layoffs. Over 24 California counties have reportedly sued Tesla for mishandling hazardous waste. The counties accused Tesla of violating state hazardous waste management laws. They allege that Tesla sent the hazardous materials to landfills that cannot accept such waste. Shares of fintech giant Paytm tanked by up to 20% today. This is after the Reserve Bank of India halted all transactions of its digital payment unit, Paytm Payments Bank. India's central bank found persistent non-compliance and supervisory concerns at Paytm Payments Bank. The CEO of Swedish fashion retailer H&M, Helena Helmersson, has resigned. H&M shares dropped by over 10% following the resignation announcement. This comes as the firm is struggling to boost sales and profitability. Company veteran Daniel Erver has been appointed as the new CEO. Healthcare firm Cigna is selling its health insurance business to insurer Healthcare Service Corps. The $3.3 billion deal consists of Cigna's Medicare lines, Medicare supplement and Medicare drug plans. The deal is a turnaround for Cigna's insurance sector strategy. Cigna entered the insurance space in 2011 with its $3.8 billion acquisition of HealthSpring. U.S. senators yesterday grilled CEOs of various social media platforms during a child safety hearing. Senators accused tech giants of making products that are quote-unquote killing people. The chief executives of Meta, TikTok, Snapchat and X, formerly known as Twitter, were present during the hearing. The emotionally charged proceedings also saw an apology from Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. He apologized to the families of child abuse victims present in the hearing room. In response, Senator Josh Hawley asked Zuckerberg to compensate the families affected by his platforms. Let's move on to sport. In cricket, former Pakistan captain Shahid Afridi has urged the country's cricket board to follow the policy of one captain across all three formats. Afridi also said that there is no need for a vice-captain and captains and team management should be given 3-year contracts. Babar Azam had stepped down from all three formats after Pakistan's ODI World Cup debacle last year. After that, Pakistan's cricket board named different captains for T20 and Test cricket. England spinner Jack Leach has suffered a knee injury and has been ruled out of the second test match between India and England. Leach was hurt during the first test, which England won by 28 runs. His absence could see 20-year-old off-spinner Shoaib Bashir make his debut. India and England play their second test on the 2nd of February. In football, the much-awaited Messi versus Ronaldo showdown in Saudi Arabia is not happening. Al Nassr's manager confirmed that Ronaldo is in the final stages of recovery. Ronaldo's calf injury also forced Al Nassr to cancel 2 friendlies in China earlier, and it'll keep him out of the match between Inter Miami and Al Nassr today. Lionel Messi's contract with Barcelona, which was written on a napkin, will be up for auction. It was back in 2000 when the Argentine talisman was just 13 years old. According to British auction house Morams, the historic napkin is expected to fetch at least over $380,000 when it will be auctioned in March. The contract was signed between Barca's then sporting director, Messi's father, and his agent. In the AFC Asian Cup, Iran survived a scare from underdog Syria despite Iran being reduced to a squad of 10. The match moved into penalties after a 1-1 draw at the end of extra time. Syria were then knocked out after losing to Iran 3-5 on penalties. With that, Iran have secured their quarter-final spot where 4-time champions Japan await them. One of the highest cities in the world, El Alto in Bolivia, is seeking stadium approvals from South American officials to host FIFA matches. The city's Villa Ingenio Stadium is located over 4,000 meters above sea level. It is still being inspected to see if the venue meets the conditions required to host international matches. Liverpool coach Jurgen Klopp, who is set to step down after this season, will be featured in a TV documentary series. Liverpool said the documentary will capture the final months of Klopp's tenure. Filming is currently underway and it will be shown after the end of this season. It's not confirmed which platform the docu-series will be aired on. Three-time Grand Slam champion Andy Murray has slammed a BBC article which suggested it was time for him to quit tennis. The article insinuated multiple times that Murray should call time on his career. The 36-year-old suffered a first-round exit at this year's Australian Open and has only won 1 out of his last 10 matches. The Argentina Grand Prix will not be on the MotoGP calendar for the 2024 season. The series organizers said it's because of the circumstances in the country. The race was scheduled for the 7th of April. It would have been the third round of the series that has a total of 22 races, but Argentina's economy is grappling with skyrocketing inflation and over 40% of the people are living in poverty. Crowd estimates for the Paris Olympics opening ceremony have dropped down to 300,000 spectators. This is around half as many as were previously expected. The French government announced that it cut the crowd size owing to security threats. The opening ceremony is on the 26th of July and will have a 6-kilometer-long parade along the river Seine. In entertainment news, Adele will be performing in Germany's Munich city in August this year. She calls the idea a bit random but still fabulous. 4 concerts will be held in a specially built stadium in Munich. This comes after the singer had said that she hasn't been planning on doing any more shows. Singer Celine Dion is in talks to produce a documentary on herself. The documentary will revolve around her suffering from stiff person syndrome. The singer wants to document her journey to make people aware of the rare neurological condition. The documentary will be called I Am Celine Dion. Riverdale actor Lily Reinhardt has been diagnosed with alopecia. It's a disease that causes hair loss. She revealed her diagnosis on a TikTok video. The actor is taking red light therapy, which has been found to stimulate hair growth. Singer and actor Keke Palmer revealed in an interview that she plans to retire soon. She feels that her timer has started and her retirement is around the corner. Before taking the plunge, she wants to leave a legacy in the form of spaces and systems for other people to thrive. Daisy Ridley is eager to start shooting for the new Star Wars film. She will reprise her role as Rey and take the story forward. Talking about the plot, she revealed that the story will appeal to the people that love Star Wars. Actor Alec Baldwin has pleaded not guilty to an involuntary manslaughter charge. He's accused of shooting a cinematographer on the set of Rust in New Mexico. The actor says that he pulled back the hammer but not the trigger. The incident happened in 2021. Baldwin faces up to 18 months in jail if he is convicted. The estate of artist Tammy Wynette has filed a lawsuit against the television network Showtime. The lawsuit claims that the series George and Tammy portrays Wynette's husband George Ritchie as a villain. The network allegedly violated a previously signed non-disparagement agreement with the daughter of the couple. A non-disparagement agreement stops one party from making defamatory statements about another. A Showtime spokesperson, however, said that they see no plausible basis for any claim. According to reports, actor Donnie Yen will be seen in the upcoming film Kung Fu. Yen will step into the shoes of the lead character of the movie. The film is the adaptation of a 1970s TV show with the same name. The story follows a Shaolin monk who travels to America to find his half-brother. The project has been under development since 2020. Actors Naomi Baker and Da Vinci have been roped in for an upcoming romantic drama. The film, titled Hard Feelings, will be directed by Joe Hatcher. The story is about a high school girl who embarks on a journey with her former boyfriend. Production will start in Atlanta, Georgia. The director of Godzilla -1 revealed that 610 visual effects shots were used to create the climax of the film. The team says they wanted the final battle to be a religious experience. Over 100 ways were discussed to create a jaw-dropping moment where Godzilla crashes into the ocean.